Alright, so this is a story about Michel Nostradamus. He was a good, he was a good man. He was born December 14, 1503. He was a son of René and Jamal Notre Dame, who, he happened to actually be a grain dealer. Growing up, Notre Dame he had a very strict and really intelligent grandpa. He would teach him like a lot of things, especially a bunch of different languages. Grandpas how they are, and he was really strict. Sometimes Notre Dame would be in class, and he would, kids, especially him at a really young age, he would be like doze off, go to sleep. And then out of nowhere, you would hear the grandma be like, "Pucha, listen!" And, poor Notre Dame was like, oh, shocked to death, scared, half awake, having to learn. Because of this intense study his grandpa would give him, he ended up being a really, really smart kid. He was so intelligent. He would walk, he would go, he was 14 when he went to university at Avion, which, he would walk up to the campus, he would just take a breathe in, he's like, finally, ready to start the new day, ready to start new school year, walk into university. Sadly, though, he was only there for a few years because the plague started, and the professors were probably like, plague is a thing, so we can't continue school no more because we have either, one, we have to treat it, or two, it can spread here, and we don't want that. Actually, he went to school to study medicine, so hey, he was able to help with the plague. So he traveled across France and Italy, curing people. He was really good with herbal remedies, so that's what he would do. He would work with herbs and, really kind of green medicine. He actually invented a rose pill. What he would do is that he would get the rose pill, he would mash it up, make it into a pill, and he would give it to the patients. And then he's like, you know what? I'm bored. I probably received a gift from God. I probably was my dreams, but he wanted to do predictions and become a prediction person who wrote riddle-like predictions. So, as those days went on, that's where our story truly begins, with his first prediction being the London Fire. Done. So, whenever he did these kind of predictions, what he would do is he would get in front of a large, a very small crowd, because no one really cared. He would get in front of those crowds, and he would be like, hey, I got a prediction to say, you guys gotta listen to me. So, the London Fire would be, he would say, the blood of the just will be demanded of London, burnt by fire in the year 66. The ancient lady will fall from her high place, and many of the same sect will be killed. So, whenever he said something absurd like this, especially to a very large crowd, and back in those days, the crowd would probably be like, hey, sir, you're crazy. Can you, leave? Because, it's crazy talk. You're insane. They'll probably be like, really not accepting of what he had to say. They're like, hey, front door, or back door, or a door, just, exit to excuse yourself. You're no longer needed. But how the London Fire kind of really started, or how it was, a bakery. Bakery was kind of sad that a bakery was the end of all of London. I kind of can imagine it that baker, the boss of the baker, was telling his apprentice, remember what I taught you. I taught you pretty well, and you should, listen to what I said. Make sure to, do everything you're supposed to do, and baker apprentice, don't burn down the entire city. And the baker apprentice is like, I got you, heard you the first time, ain't gotta repeat it. So, she accidentally burned the whole city down. Whoops, accident, didn't mean it. Darn. Try again next time. So, yeah. A book called Les Prophecies that he would release one day, and it would be just a book of a bunch of things that he would see in the future, that he would interpret that would happen in the future. He even wrote the end of the world. Yep. Yeah. So, yeah. So as we grow older with age, our bodies tend to become more weaker, more fragile. How his final day went was, he was talking with his secretary. Probably they were probably catching up, talking about life, issues at hand, or anything of that kind of sort. And eventually, the conversation will be lead to, "Hey, secretary," will probably be like, "You know what? Hey, getting kind of late. I'm pretty tired. We've been at it this all day. I want to go home." So he would say, "I will see you tomorrow morning." Notre Dame is like, "No, actually, you will not find me alive at sunrise." His buddy was like, "Hey, don't say that. That's not a fun topic to talk about." So, he would leave. Next morning, just in case, he would come by again at sunrise to check on his friend. And sadly, he finds him gone. He passed away. He was lying there next to his bed and his bench on the floor. And that was the end of Notre Dame. He lived a pretty good life, very fulfilling. He had a wife and lovely children. He made himself a legacy. He brought this new kind of excitement to people wanting to interpret what he said through his riddle-like prophecies and predictions. So he's done a lot, and he will forever be remembered. And